Welcome everybody to If I Die, I Change zombie game. The rules are very simple. I play a zombie game on the hardest possible difficulty, and then when I meet my inevitable fate, we swap to the next game. Let's see just how long we can survive in a zombie infested world. I don't think it's going to be very long, but let's find out. Like usual, I don't want to spend too much time just yapping, so let's get straight into the video. Rate these bottoms. These are cold, you can't lie. These bottoms are cold. I don't think my cat's okay, he's just staring into the back of my chair. Let's go, man. Once again, starting off with something familiar, we're going to be playing Dying Light 2. This is a sequel to... Spoiler alert, it's not as good as Dying Light 1, but it's still a good game. Now let's see how long we can survive. Firstly, we needed to make ourselves a new save on the nightmare difficulty, so I did that immediately. I also made sure to set the color grading on darker nights to make it as scary as possible. Now, before we jump straight into it, we were given a quick debrief of the situation. The year was 2036 and it was 15 years after the fall. We were playing as Aiden Caldwell, who is a pilgrim who had been wandering through a zombie infested world, and he is looking for his long lost sister, Mia. I'm just reading the subtitle. Waltz is a man who has been experimenting on Aiden since he was a child, and I can't be asked to start the game. Once we loaded in, we were immediately thrown into a cutscene of just chaos. We were drugged with some heroin and smacked in the head with a baseball bat. A very interesting start to the game. Once we awoke, we realized that he was a friend, not an enemy. So we went outside to meet him on the balcony. After Hakon introduced himself to us, we were now taken through a parkour tutorial. There's no chance of me dying here, so I'm not even going to bother showing you this part. We climbed some stuff, jumped over some stuff, and fell a bit. We were then given a small introduction to the peacekeepers who defended this lady, but we found out they aren't necessarily the heroes here. After going ahead in search of an airdrop, we met Hakon on top of this roof. We opened the airdrop in search of some inhibitors, but instead, inside we found a graphics card. I must have taken 4 hours to open this crate because it was suddenly nighttime. Our goal was to get to a safe zone ASAP, so we ran as quick as we could. We were running very slowly. Once we had made it to the safe zone, it turns out they wouldn't actually open the door to let us inside. We tried to offer him a bargaining chip, but he politely refused. We were now screwed. After following Hakon to the shack of a man called Killian, it turns out he didn't want to let us inside. What an absolute fat bastard. Our job was now to buy Hakon time by killing all the zombies around us, in the hopes that Killian might let us inside. Hey, let's go, bro. Let's go, bro. You want cashy hands? Goodbye. After fighting for our lives, Killian finally let us inside, and it turns out it was queso. I now had access to my stash, so the first thing I did was put on a cool outfit. We opened up the door and started our night exhibition. Not the safest thing to do in a game called Dying Light. We were told by Hakon to meet him at a hospital. Here we might be able to find an inhibitor to help us in our journeys. We head inside and let Hakon guide the way. I was then caught so off guard because I forgot they added modding into Dying Light 2, and yeah, here you go. What the fuck? We went a bit further ahead and we were now in what's called a dark zone. This is where all of the zombies are resting. Our goal was to sneak past them all safely. There was one thing that began to mildly infuriate me, which is the speed at which Hakon is walking. Can you hurry up, bro? Like, how slow do you want to walk? Why do all games have to make it so that it takes so long for the NPCs to walk? It's so annoying. Hakon was taking his sweet time. Hakon opened up the lift and he jumped to the bottom. In our attempt to make it to safety, the lift broke and we were now isolated with no way to get back up. So from here on, we were by ourselves. Since we didn't have enough stamina to make it back to the top, we had to find something called an inhibitor to get us the strength to do so. Although we encountered a bit of trouble on the way. I finally found the inhibitor, and in case you didn't know, they are used to increase either your stamina or your health. For the story's sake, I had to upgrade my stamina to make it up to Hakon. I injected myself and I started tweaking. After making it back to the elevator, we could finally climb up to where Hakon is. Once we found him, he gave us a biomarker which tells us the rate of our infection. Although once he put the biomarker on me, we found out I am literally about to turn any second. So we were now on a race against time to make it out before we turn into a Zombo. What if I just beat him up? Oh shit. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Oh my god. Oh my god. We made it out into the daylight where we were safe, and I don't know why I decided to take on a volatile, because if I died, that would have been a very, very stupid way to throw my life away. Oh, yapping cow. I used my binoculars to scout out the area and mark some objectives, potential points of interest. And we were now in the open world of Dying Light 2. I wonder how long I can survive in this apocalyptic world, because trust me, I wouldn't have my hopes too high if I were you. My only goal right now is to last longer than an hour, since I don't think I've even done that yet. Hakon told us about a safe settlement for survivors of the apocalypse, which is the place that we got rejected earlier. But since I now had a biomarker, I was safe to go inside. Hakon then gave us a call and told us to meet up with him, so I did so immediately. He told us there is a possible chance we can get out of this small town and into the big city, and this would allow me to continue my ventures for my sister and find out where she is. I'll be real, I don't care about my sister. Hakon told us to wait till nighttime for our mission, so I went to sleep. After waking up at nighttime for our mission, we woke up to a bolter feeding outside of our hut. We're so scary. Our current objective was to get to the station through the metro tunnels. We jumped down to safety using the monkey bars and began to clear the area. Out the way, ho. Come over here so I can kick you in the face. One thing I will say about Dying Light 2 is I love the fact you can incorporate your parkour into your combat. There are a lot more moves to use in your combat in comparison to Dying Light 1, for example. I still think Dying Light 1 is a better game, but there are areas that Dying Light 2 does excel in, and I think it's good to give credit where it's due. So we opened up the hatch and dived into a bunch of beanbags. We continued through the tunnels just to try and make it to the metro, but it was still a long way to go to the metro as yet. Good night, motherfucker. Ooh, that x-ray was clean. I forgot they added x-rays to this game. I was fighting the infected for quite some time until I realized I need to take some mushrooms or I'm gonna die. So we got our shrooms and we used them to stay human. Dying Light 2 should be called Dying Light 2 Stay Human by doing shrooms. We had now made it to the metro tunnel itself and the new city was just up ahead. Let's just hope we can make it there without dying. Oh god, okay. Nobody touch me. I'm coming through. Oh, get out of my way. At this moment in time, my priority was to avoid all unnecessary conflict, so I continued on my journey without fighting any of the infected. We found the door we needed to go to, but when opening the door handle, we were interrupted by a spit flying into a wall, and we now had our first special infected fight of this playthrough. And it is with these spitters, which by the way are the worst infected in this game in terms of dying. The spits in this game do incredible damage and can very, very easily catch you off guard. Die, you stupid spitting. Oh. Oh, oh no, 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 oh my god, no. No. Do you now see what I mean when I say that these spits in this game can catch you off guard so quickly? You can go from being full HP to dead in the matter of seconds, and that is how we met our end in Dying Light 2. I said this in my last video, but I feel like I should be doing better in these games. I'm not a bad gamer, I swear, but I'm just dying. Maybe I should just go play Roblox. Okay, so the next game we're going to be playing is Project Zomboid, and we are now in unfamiliar territory when playing this game. It would be a lie to say I've never played the game before, but I literally know barely anything about this game, and to be playing it on the hardest difficulty in a game which I know is already very challenging, I don't have high hopes. The second I booted up the game, I chose the Apocalypse difficulty, as I believe it is the hardest difficulty in the game. We could choose our occupation, and I decided to go with Veteran for the increased aiming and gunplay. For my negative traits, I chose Smoker because I feel like cigarettes are pretty easy to find in this game. And my second negative trait was Allergic to wild plants. All I have to do is not eat wild plants. Not very hard. I didn't know enough about the game to be able to pick anything else, so that was all I went with. For our character customization, I quickly made my character Eren Yeager, and yeah, there you go. We now have Eren Yeager in Project Zomboid. Our adventure in Project Zomboid had now began, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't scared. We had spawned in inside of this empty bar. The first thing I did was look around the area to see what we could find and use. I found a lot of alcohol, which gave me quite a bit on my hunger and thirst, so I figured it would be a good idea to stack up on it. We did find cigarettes, and that is something our character needs to be able to stay not depressed, so that's a good thing. After finishing up in that building, we finally went outside to the vast open world of Project Zomboid. I was not ready for this. We walked down the street to see what other buildings we can go into and loot, but then I was greeted with this absolutely terrifying sound. From this moment, we were thrown into absolute chaos, and I did not know there would not be a break at all. All I wanted to do was be able to find some loot, some weapons, and be able to stay alive, but the zombies were not giving me a single chance to do so. I ran inside of a store to see if there was maybe something I could find, but there was nothing. Only food. But I then realized there was no exit in this building. I decided to make a run for it through the front door, and that was not a good idea. No! Wait, am I bit? I'm bitten. The game's already over. Okay, I can disinfect it quick. No, come on. I'm pretty sure once you get bitten in Project Zomboid, you are guaranteed to die. Unless I'm remembering that incorrectly, I'm pretty sure my character's already finished. My current priority was to bandage up my arm since I was bleeding, so I decided to get my socks and rip them apart for some rags. Just bear in mind, I have just started the game. I just spawned in and I'm already in this predicament. My arm was now bandaged up, so we were good to go for now. Okay, so being bitten doesn't mean I'm infected, I don't think. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong, but I really have no clue. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I decided to check my map to try and find out where I was, and yeah, it wasn't helpful. At this point, I had so many zombies on me that all I could do was walk and walk and walk and walk until we came across this bait shop called Morris's Bait Shop. I hope there would maybe be something of use, maybe a hatchet, a cleaver, a knife, or something I could use to defend myself. I tried to open up the window, but it was locked, and I just could not be bothered, so I decided to move on. While I couldn't see any of the zombies because I wasn't looking behind me, I knew they were there. We managed to do a loop and get back into the building where we spawned in. I had hoped that going through all of these buildings and losing line of sight of the zombies, I'd be able to avoid them. And it seems I was correct for now. The only thing is we were now in the middle of nowhere with absolutely nothing, no weapons, no armor, no nothing to defend ourselves. And to top it off, there are zombies everywhere. I'm going to be honest with you, I knew the game was already cooked from here. I don't know where the game had decided to spawn me in, but there were no buildings, there were no weapons, there was nothing, just open field and a house now and then. I decided that the only way I was going to survive this zombie apocalypse is if I put all of my chips on red. I ran to this van as quick as I could. The first gamble, are there keys inside of this truck? After checking the dashboard, I fortunately found the keys inside. I put the keys in the ignition. It was now time for our second gamble. Is there fuel in the car, and does the car turn on? The answer was no. I'm absolutely cooked. There's no fuel in the car. I'm dead. I'm dead. I can't. No. I'm dead. I'm so dead. I now had a laceration on my neck and my health was rapidly depleting. I tried to rip some clothing to see if I could make it in time, but with the zombies behind me, there's just nothing I can do. This is such a bad run. No, I don't even care because I just got unlucky with that spawn. I spawned in the middle of literally nowhere. What am I supposed to do? It's dog shit game. As usual, I had a little crying session when I died, but that is unavoidable. I don't like dying. And so far, I am 2 for 2 in being booty cheeks at the game. And that is the end of my first day in Project Zomboid. Okay, for our third game, we're going to be playing State of Decay 2. This is a game that I have not played on my channel at all yet, and one that I'm quite excited to play. And let's see if maybe we can survive a bit longer in this game than the other ones, and maybe actually start building up a story somewhere. In case you didn't know, State of Decay 2 is about building your own community and your own base of survivors. The way I'm going to do this one is that if even one of my survivors die, I lose. As always, the first thing we did was put the difficulty on the hardest possible one, and in this game that is the lethal difficulty. It was now time to build our community. So say hello to Taylor, Tony and Bones. Taylor taught gymnastics, is a basketball fan and is scared of needles. Tony plays sports, is a game designer and is neat. Bones on the other hand is a stripper, I guess. The game starts off with our characters having a discussion on what they're going to do. We are discussing settling down in this area. I don't know because I couldn't really concentrate since I was more focused on why Bones is staring at me like I stole her crack. Yo, she is a crackhead. Look at her eyes. I know a crackhead when I see one. I quickly decided to have a look at my character customization options and see what I was working with. After I was done, we had to claim our first base, which was up ahead. This outpost was currently crawling with zombies, but we had to clear them out and secure it for ourselves.
Do it.
Shit. Finish him off. Once it was secured, I could see there were zombies trying to get inside of our base, and I'm pretty sure they can actually break in. So my plan was to meet them outside rather than then come inside. And I think that was a mistake. We were now in an all-out war with these infected, and I could even see my own teammates taking damage in the distance. This is very scary because if even one of them die, I lose. After a long drawn-out fight, I managed to take them down one by one while they were distracted on my teammate. And now we were finally safe. I decided I was going to change character and play as Tony from here on. Once I had taken control of Tony, I went to the top of the tower to try and scout the area. By using my binoculars, I can look around and mark points of interest. Once they were all marked, I made my way back down to the bottom. Our current objective was to find some supplies which I could see in the distance, so I left my outpost and went ahead solo. I thought by going alone I'd be able to minimize the risk of any of my characters dying without me knowing. I was just walking, enjoying the environment, enjoying the scenery and just taking it all in. And when I tell you, a demon straight from my nightmares appeared. I'm not kidding. No. I can't.
I'm really fucking screwed now.
What the fuck? Help me! Anybody! I had resorted to pleading for help from someone who doesn't even exist. And these screams are genuine screams of fear. I am not acting. No, I can't. Help somebody! Help me! I don't like it. Dodge. No, no, no. Oh, help. Help. Guys, help me, guys. Where are my friends? Where are my friends? Guys, we have an enemy. I began to feel very helpless as I hit him over and over again, but he just would not die. He's still not dead. Oh, did you see how many hits this man just absorbed? There is no chance I could take him on by myself without coming back to my base. What is this game thinking, throwing an enemy like that at me, but I've just started the game and I have no weapons? How is this legal? But it wasn't over yet because Tony had become infected from all the damage he had taken. I now had 20 seconds left to do something. I desperately checked Tony in to try and treat the infection. He didn't make it. He died. He died. No. Oh my god. You can't make the shot. You can't make the shot. That's another game I've lasted 15 minutes in this game. Anyway, that is State of Decay done. I'm slowly accepting the fact that I just suck at games, honestly.